Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 356 of my countdown to retirement. And what a day it was! In Atlanta, we got between 2 and 3 inches of snow, which for those of you up north is nothing. But in a city like Atlanta, where a quarter inch of snow dusting shuts down the city, it's a big deal. Virtually everything was shut down today. Um, so I'll show you a quick little video of how pristine the snow looked when it first came down. And then this evening, unfortunately, it's going to be followed by freezing rain. So they're anticipating lots of power outages as the freezing rain on top of the snow weighs down branches, and then we kick up the winds, and they expect lots of branches to fall on the power lines, and they expect significant power outages across the city later on. I know that at Hartsfield Jackson International Airport, they've already canceled way more than 1,000 flights, and they also had an issue today where a captain had to abort a takeoff, and then people had to jump off down the slides to exit the airplane. And with regard to the weather, we're not supposed to warm up into the 40s until Sunday. So hopefully the roads will start to clear. The main highways, they've already started salting and doing what they need to do to get it to melt. But in areas out like where I live, nothing has been done to the roads. And the only reason I really care is on Monday, my wife has cataract surgery, so I need to be able to get her over to the surgical center. And then, well, as you guys know, she's on Medicare, actually Medicare Advantage. So she elected for her cataract surgery to use laser assist, which Medicare doesn't cover. And so Wednesday, I had to run over to the surgical center and prepay $1,700 for the laser assist, plus I think it was like $180 and $180 something dollars for her copay, so that they would continue with the surgery scheduled for Monday morning. Anyway, then yesterday, even though the markets were closed for Jimmy Carter funeral, one of my 6-month T-bill came due, and so today I researched what the replacement 6-month T-bill would be. That's going to be CUSIP 912797 PE1, and last week's 26-week T-bill went off at an investment rate of 4.256. So I'm hoping to get at least the same rate or better this week when it goes off. As many of you know, the 10-year and the 30-year bonds have been backing up in rates, or I should say backing up in yields, to just under 5%. So that's making the market kind of edgy, and also there was a decent sell-off today across the S&P, mostly the Nasdaq, and also the Dow. Last time I had checked, I don't know what it closed at, but the last time I looked at it, the Dow was down like 700 points. I attempted to start a position in SCHG and also expand the position in VOO, which is obviously just this S&P 500. Neither of those executed at the price point that I was targeting. And then later in the afternoon, I assisted my mom with her annual gifting, so that checked that off her list. And then I spent maybe an hour and a half updating all of my passwords, and then putting those, well, making them available in a file for my wife, and then providing her with a copy of the passwords, so that should something happen to me, or vice versa, if something happened to her, either one of us can get into just about any account that we have. So all the passwords, are known, but they're not in a place where someone can easily access them, and they're encrypted within the file. So even if you find where they are, um, you have to know what the password is to unencrypt the file to get to them. And then the last task I worked on was I'd gotten an email from Arlo, and we use the Arlo doorbell, instead of like a Ring or some other doorbell. And when I got it, the doorbell itself was like $80, $85, something like that. And then it cost us $49.99 a year, where anybody that rang the bell or walked up, it would trigger when they were walking up to the door or what have you, and it would save the files to the cloud. And one of the reasons that I picked Arlo over a Ring as an example was that, and I don't know if this is true nationwide, but I know it's true here in Georgia. Um, the police have a relationship whereby they can access all of the Ring doorbell cameras in a given area and look at the video stored in the cloud, so that if there's a break-in or something in a neighborhood, they're able to, access that content and, use it to identify suspects. And while conceptually I don't have any problem with that, I do have a problem with somebody accessing my files without my permission. And so, if the police wanted to access the files, I think that there should be a mechanism where they contact the people in the area to get their permission, which is not required, as I said, with a Ring doorbell. Well, in the case of Arlo, they don't have any such relationship with the police, and so my data is my data, and that's the way I wanted it. Anyway, Arlo sent me a notice saying that my current subscription plan isn't going to be renewed. Like they're not going to uh, have such a low cost plan, and so the replacement plan, which basically doubles the cloud storage, and I don't think it really provides much additional benefit beyond that, but it doubles the cloud storage, but it also increases the price by 96% over a year. And so it goes from like 49.99 to, I want to say, 96.88, something like that. Anyway, I called Arlo customer support today, determined with them that um, the doorbell would continue to work. I would continue to get notifications on my phone when something was delivered. I would continue to be able to see the live stream and all the other aspects. I just wouldn't be able to see the cloud backed up files if I canceled the subscription. So for me, you know, storing the cloud files for, $100, it just isn't worth it. So anyhow, I canceled the subscription. It'll continue to provide me with all the functionality through the end of the initial term, which for me is in February. And then it'll go away, and I'll still be able to get, like I said, notifications on my phone and be able to do everything I can do now, except for be able to review let's say, when an Amazon package get delivered, what time was it, who did the delivery, and watch them actually come up and put it on my porch or whatever. So that being said, I already have other cameras. Like I've got a Wise that I use, and the Wise has an micro SD card in it, that holds, terabytes and terabytes of, well, that's not true, hundreds of gigabytes, I should say, of storage. So, I mean, it holds months worth of data. So rather than do what, you know, they asked me to do via Arlo, I'm simply going to set up one of my Wise little cubes and just have it record whenever it gets motion detected, and I can define an area that's triggered for the motion, and it'll automatically record to to the SD card, and then I can use my phone, still see all the recordings that are in there, reformat the SD card whenever it's getting full, and go from there. But you know, I don't know about you guys, but to me, it just seemed like a really excessive increase for not very much value, uh, to go from, you know, $50 to like 97. Like in 1 year, that just seemed like an astronomical increase that couldn't, I just can't justify. And like I said, even if I went out and bought a brand new cube, even though I've got some, to go do it, that would be a one-time purchase of like 29 bucks. So I just can't comprehend why someone would pay double the price, uh, for that functionality. It has no impact on my normal security systems or anything else that I already have, tracking on. So anyway, that was one thing that kind of really irked me. And given that I'm going to be a retiree, I'm looking to cut my costs anywhere that I can. And I'm certainly not going to pay up double for something that doesn't provide me value. Anyway, that's kind of how I ended my day from a task perspective. And then, last but not least, since it was snowing today, I thought it would be appropriate to have snow crabs for dinner. So that's what we did. I cooked a batch of 4 pounds of snow crab, and that's what we feasted on for our dinner this evening. Anyway, that's the update for today. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them in the comment section down below. Or you can send me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I look forward to talking with you tomorrow. Until then, take care.